time. You got off to a great start, held the lead. Mackay and Harris did their thing, but you did a good job on the other players, and I think that was probably the story of the game.
Well, I thought, right from the start we had really good flow on both offense and defense. I thought our defensive intensity led to some easy baskets in transition, and we did a good job of moving the ball against their defense, and it's just, hopefully we'll be able to do the same thing on Saturday.
You look at the box score, and your post players had good games in that game, and I guess that's something you're going to try to hopefully get the same performance.
We got to get the ball inside in different ways. Sometimes, on throwbacks, sometimes just on straight post feeds. But our big guys got to do a good job of being aggressive when they get the ball.
Well, you need to convince those guys at all that they're not already 20 points better than Wake Forest. Is that?
I don't think after last night that would be hard to convince them.
Yeah.
Is it accurate to say that maybe the best barometer of this team and how it's playing is the work on the boards? I mean, not necessarily you have to win the board number numerically every night, but compete on the boards and so forth. If you're doing that, there's a better chance this team is going to be in a game.
Well, I think the two stats that are really important for this team is one is the rebounding. There's no question about that in terms of not giving up a lot of offensive rebounds for the other team and us getting some offensive rebounds. One that shows that you're engaged in the game. Usually when we don't rebound, it's that we're either a step slow or not aggressive enough. And then the second one is the turnovers. That's been a huge one. Those two are the two biggest ones for us because as the assist number moves up, that means we're moving the ball and we're making plays for each other. And that's making the extra pass or getting the ball inside where they can score, kick outs, whatever the case might be. And then not having empty possessions on the turnover. So those two obviously go together with the rebound. Those would be the two key stats to look at every game for us.
Okay. Is Marcus getting to a point just where he's becoming more and more comfortable of taking games over is the right word, but just really being the aggressor and taking?
Yeah, and that's one thing that you are constantly searching for with a younger team is who is going to be your go-to guy now, and then you have to look into the future as well, and both him and Chris have shown the ability to be aggressive and make some plays down the stretch in different ways as well, and at the same time there's a failure rate there too that you have to live with. Again, you got to put those guys in that situation, and the more they get comfortable with it, then the better they're going to perform in those situations.
The first half of the game last night, Daniel, 0 shots. Is that something you want him to be more aggressive, or did he have any looks where he should have been taking shots?
Well, he only took 1 shot the whole game.
Yeah.
He made it. We need more than that. Sometimes, game, how the game is going will determine that, but I think the first play of the game, he had an open 15-footer. He needs to shoot that, and we need him, again, we're at our best when our post guys are aggressive to score or to draw double teams. And if you can just play behind the post and without any worry of them aggressively attacking the basket, then we're going to struggle on offense.
I imagine with Daniel, his shooting percentage is high in part because he's taking smart shots, and I imagine you'd almost want him to take more shots and suffer a lower shooting percentage.
No question. No question. Sometimes, for some reason, post players sometimes get more upset with missed shots than perimeter players do. You know what I mean? And it's just 23 years of coaching, I've found that, guys, don't like missing shots. And everybody, when they miss them because they're in close, everybody thinks, well, you should be able to make that.
Right.
But they got a 250-pound guy banging him as he's about, trying to shoot it. So obviously he's much more aggressive than he was. But yesterday, he wasn't as aggressive as we need him to be. So I would like Daniel to aggressively, when he gets the ball, every time in the post, to think score. Now he's leading us in assists in the ACC. That's good and bad. It's good because obviously, as I've always said, he's a very good passer. But it's bad, for one, because we need him to be maybe more aggressive to score. And your center shouldn't lead you in assists.
Wake's coming off a game where I'm sure they felt they should have won. Is this a game where you have to maybe go after them right away? And
Well, they're
they
probably
might be
saying
coming
the
off-
same thing.
Yeah, right,
you know.
exactly.
You know,
So whoever comes out.
yeah, but you know, the start is going to be important, obviously, for us to shake off the doldrums of the last game, but for them as well. So, but I would assume that, you know, that other than maybe the top 2 or 3 teams, I think every team after that, for the most part, you've seen in this league, sometimes it's a 20-point game, or if not, it's coming down to the last possession. That's kind of been the trend with everybody 4 through 12, you know, because I think there's not much separation between those teams. And so now if a team plays really well and the other team doesn't, you win by 20, or, you know, or comfortable win, us against Virginia Tech, us against Wake Forest. If it's not like that, then it's going to come down to the last 2 minutes. And we've had, you know, 4 or 5 of those.
And it seems like you've had the ability to come back from those disappointing losses and play well the next time out.
Let's hope so. I mean, we have proven that. Yeah, I agree with you. Our guys have done a good job of bouncing back. And, you know, I would count on them to do the same. I mean, that's what it's supposed to be all about, you know. And it's one of the key factors in terms of your improvement and your growth, is to be able to put the last game aside, understand what you did right or wrong, and then move forward. Now, we haven't had as much success as, you know, coming off a win as we've had coming off a loss.
To go back to Marcus, and I know you said before about how you want the guys to get to a point where they're in a good situation like that, where they're creating for other guys. It would seem like, and maybe his assist numbers don't reflect it, but he seems like a guy who would have that in him.
Yeah, I do believe that. He's got a good basketball IQ in terms of reading the defense and so forth. You know, he is, you know, one of his development that needs to occur is just, you know, keep getting better with the basketball, because he's got great strength. And when he explodes, if he can get his shoulder by you, he's good enough to finish plays, even get a foul like he did in the other game if he draws help to be able to pass it out. So, you know, I see, obviously, as he continues to grow as a player, that he's a guy that would be able to score if the situation, you know, be able to read the defense in terms of, all right, now I got the shot, or now I'm going to kick it out or drop it off.
Yeah. Is he someone, too, and his shots kind of go up and down, that you'd want to see more a steady level of...
Yeah, you know, again, you know, one of the... obviously, with his frame, he probably, you know, he scored a lot of points around the basket in high school.
Right.
Now he's strictly a perimeter player, more or less. Even though we do run some stuff to get him the ball in the post, he's very effective in there. But yeah, I mean, you know, one of the things you always look at, and is you have to fight it during the year, and is, you know, now as he goes through all this, you know, young guys are always thinking in their head, all right, this is something I really need to work on in the spring and summer. You know what I mean? And you almost can't wait to get to that point to work on your ball skills, to work on your shooting. But we need to keep putting him in a position now where he's getting open shots and you know, driving the ball hard to create, because as he works on it, that experience of actually doing it in the game is only going to accelerate that process.
The second half last night, when Hall and McDaniels were getting in the lane, getting around their men, were you? I guess you weren't satisfied naturally with the help defense, but what is supposed to take place when that happens? Is someone supposed to jump out and?
Well, yeah, especially if it's anybody but Hall, because who's ever guarding Hall doesn't have to guard Hall on the perimeter. So you got to be just plugging the lane. And we had some, some defensive breakdowns that really cost us, and some of it was off of dribble penetration, some of it was off of, the ball screen action where we just, didn't get the proper coverage on that. But, it was a strange game because in the second half, our offensive efficiency was the highest it's been all year. And we were at 106 points per 100 possessions, so 1.06, which is for us tremendous. The problem was the same team that shot 26% against us in the first half shot 60%. And a lot of that was on some of those defense breakdowns, It's hard to win a game when you only score 15 points in the first half, but we were only down 5, and so it's just those plays you gotta get better on ball toughness and off the ball focus, and those are some big plays on those drives.